3% of 250. Once again, we're going to write is, of, and percent. Please, everybody write is, of, and percent in their pocket.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, let's see. What is in our case? What is? Do we have? No. Where do percent go?
Down there.
Yes, percentage goes right here, down there. Of 250. Where does that go? Of. What are we looking for?
Is.
Excellent. So we have is over of percent over 100. What goes on top? What goes here? 250. What goes here?
X.
When cross multiplying, x equals what? 7.5. Questions? Concerns? We good? Okay. Now, number 2, ladies and gentlemen. 25 is what percent of 75? So we have is, of, and percent. What do we put for is? 25. What do we put for of? 75. What do we put for percent? X. How do we set up the proportion? What's here? 25. What's on the bottom? No, of 75. What's up here? X. When you cross multiply, what do you get? 33 and 3 repeating. Questions? Any questions? Concerns? Nope. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to number 3. What percent of 65 is 13? Once again, is, of, percent. Let's try. Is.
13.
That's correct. It's 13. Of. 65. Percent. X. Very good. What's on top of 100? What's on top of here? What is the class? 13. What's on the bottom? 65. When you cross multiply, what do you get? 20%. Excellent. Very good. Questions? Concerns? Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Simple?
Yeah.
All right. Number 4. 42 is 60% of what number? Once again, is, of, and percent. What's on top? What is?
42.
42. Of.
X.
Percent. 60. Let's set up the proportion. 100 here. What's on top of 100?
60.
What's on top of the other one?
42.
And here? X. Now we're going to cross multiply. X cross multiply, and then x equals what? 70. This way, ladies and gentlemen, is how we find all the numbers missing from our word problems. Any questions? Are we good? We good? All right. Now, this is what we're going to do. We are going right now move back to second page, and I'm going to show you another way of solving the same type of problems. Go back to second page. That's your second page. The formula, the whole formula for solving your percent problems is as follows. Percent times whole equals part. Let's talk about it for a moment. Let's assume our class has 36 people. What is 50% of 36? 18, because 50% is what? One half of 36 is 18. So the formula actually checks out. When you have percent, however, the percent needs to be written as a decimal or a fraction. Decimal is usually the easiest. Times your whole, whatever the whole is, whether it's 36 as people, whether it's $5,000, it will give you the part. So now, that's an equation. Before we had what? What did it call? What do we call this? Come on.
Equation.
No.
Equality.
Proportion. Before we solve proportions, now we're solving equations. It's actually identical. Solving proportions and equations in this context is identical. Actually, one comes from the other. It's very awesome. Anyway, let me show you how that works. So in your packet, let's start with the problem number 1. 12 is 40% of what number? So let's find out. Percent. What is our percent?
40.
40. Write down 40. What's our whole? What do you think whole is?
We don't know.
We really don't. And what's our part?
12.
12. Now, before I go any further, you can go back to your previous instructions and write, there is a percent, whole is off, and then part is this. Christy, what's your question?
Don't you have to change the percent into a decimal?
Thank you. You do have to change percent to decimal, and you're going to do it right here in the equation. So your formula for the equation is percent times whole equals part. So let's write this together. Percent is what?
40.
And we change it into decimal by writing 0.4, 4/10, times what? Times whole. What do we have whole? X times x equals 12. Now, that is something called one-step equation. One-step equation, we solve it. Let's go back here, and we have 0.4x equals 12. What do we have to do to solve this one-step equation? Divide by 0.4. We're going to divide by 0.4 on both sides. This way, we have x on the left side. What's going to be on the right side? Use your calculators.
30.
30. So now we can come back here and write our solution is what?
30.
30. Questions? Concerns? We good? Perfect. Would you like to do the next couple? Let's start. 54 is what percent of 90? So, what's our percent here, ladies and gentlemen? X. We don't have. Very good. Whole. What is our whole here? 90. What's our part here? 54. And once again, we have percent times our whole equals part. So what's our percent? X times what?
90.
90 equals what?
54.
54. Let's move on here and then do it together. So what we have? X times 90 equals 54. And we can switch it and write 90x equals 54. How do we solve it? Divide by 90 both sides. Very nice. 90 x equals what? 0.6. Are we good to go?
Yeah.
Now, what is, before we go anywhere, what does 0.6, what is 0.6 as a percent? 60%, which is 60%. So right here, you're gonna write 60%. Yes?
For that one, couldn't you have also used your times tables?
Yes, you can, but that requires you to understanding mathematics a little more than a regular person does, and also be really, really sharp about it because you need to go back and forth. Now, yes, however you want to do it. Most of you guys here, yes. There are some students, however, who are like, what are you talking about? Yeah, because you say 9 times 6 equals 54. Yes, you're right. You can do that. That's perfect. I like how your brain works, man. This is awesome. Let's do the next one then. Are you ready to do the next one? Are you ready? Okay, go. 50% of what number is 18? What's my percent?
15.
15. What's my whole?
X.
What's my part?
18.
18. Let's put this all together. What's the first thing?
15.
No, we need to change it 1500s. 0.15 times times what?
X.
Times x equals
18.
18. Excellent. Please solve it for me. Once again, it's one-step equation.
120.
And this is 120. That is correct. Questions? Concerns? Good? All right, next one. What percent of 110 is 88%? What do we have here?
X.
X. Whole, what do we have here?
110.
110. Part,
88.
88. What's the equation?
X
X
times 110.
times 110 equals 88. What do we need to do, Christy?
You need to divide 80.
Both sides by
110.
110. 88 divided by 110 equals 80%. 80%. Questions? Concerns? We good? We're gonna do last one. We're gonna do last one. Because sometimes you need to also see, last one is a little different because you will see that sometimes part is actually bigger than my whole. Let's see it. So, what's my percent here? 110. What is my whole? 50 of 50. And what's my part? X. What would I write for my equation? 1.1 times 50 equals X. What is my X?
55.
My X is 55. Right here, and pay attention to it right now. Right here, you have part, which usually what you were told before, part is always smaller than the whole. It's not entirely true. Because, for example, let's assume you have allowance of $100 a month. It's a pretty good allowance. But you would like to have bigger allowance, and you ask your parents, instead of giving you $20 more, you ask them to give you 120% of your current allowance, which will equate to $120. So you can have part as a bigger number. You got it? Understood? We good? Beautiful. All right. How are you doing, David? So far, we good? Awesome. Thank you. Now, let's move on to the next. Ready? Percent of change. Let's move on to the percent of change. Percent of change, as you learn in your social studies, was change over original times 100. That is also true in mathematics. However, we are much more precise here, and we are looking at, instead of change, we're getting change as a subtraction. And you always subtract the first number from the last number. So let me show you this. If you subtract first number from the last number, last goes here, last number, minus the first number, over original, in our case, is first number, times 100. That is the general formula for percentage of change. Now, when we are changing, when we're looking for percent of change, it can be either positive or negative. If it's positive, it's an increase. If it's negative, it's a decrease. Using that formula, let's solve first problem. Find the percent of change from 4 to 7.5. Every time you're looking for it, please assign first and last to those numbers. 4 is our first number. 7.5 is our last number. So using the formula, last minus first over first times 100, we are writing 7.5 minus 4 over 4 times 100, which equals 3.5 over 4 times 100, which equals what, ladies and gentlemen?
875,000.
Divided by 100, what?
Whoa. You said, so 7.5 minus 4, and then that divided by 4.
And that's divided by 4
87.5.
equals 87.5%.
I missed that one.
Yes, 87.5%. That's your first problem. So was that increase or was that decrease?
Increase.
That was increase. Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, very nice. Let's go to number 2. Find the percent increase from 8 to 9.6. Once again, first, last. 9.6 minus 8 over 8 times 100 equals 1.6 over 8 times 100, which equals 20%. Very nice. Did you do it in your head?
I don't look it up.
Oh, beautiful. Questions, concerns? Are we good? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to question number 5 on that page. Question number 5 on that page. Here we go. Find the percent decrease from 9.6 to 4.8. Again, what is the first number? 9.6. The last number? 4.8. And again, we are using the same formula. Last minus first over first times 100. In our case, it will be 4.8 minus 9.6 over 9.6 times 100, which equals 4.8 minus 9.6 equals what? Negative 4.8 divided by 9.6, that equals what?
Negative 0.5.
Times 100, which is negative 0.5 times 100, which equals negative 50%. The significance of a negative is telling us that this is a decrease. Every time you see percent change and you get negative number, you will have to think of it as a decrease. Are we good? Problem number 6. All right, problem number 6. Find the percent change from 1,250 to 1,120. Once again, first, last. And we're using the same formula. Last minus first over first times 100. In our case, 1120 minus 1250 over 1250 times 100 equals
Negative 130.
Negative 10.4.
negative 10.4%.
I thought you were asking for the second equation.
No, just go. Let's go straight to the answer. Okay. Questions? Concerns? Questions? Concerns? No? We good? All right. All right, guys. Let's go over real-world percent change examples. Let's go on to the last problem. The average cost of gallon of gasoline increased to $2.99 per gallon from $2.85. Find the percent change. Right here, we need to find the two numbers that we're dealing with, which are $2.99 and $2.85. And from that point, we need to determine which one is first, which one is last. And which one is first and which one is last is actually determined chronologically. not what's written here. Because, as you can see, increased 2. So our final price was $2.99. That's my last number, despite the fact being written the first. And my first number is $2.85. That's when you have to be very, very, very careful. You have to be super careful to make sure that you have the correct last and first numbers. So let's put this all together. Once again, the same formula. 2.99 minus 2.85 over 2.85 times 100. And when you multiply this all together, what do we get? 4.91%. How does it look? How do you feel? Do you feel good about it? Okay. Very nice. All right, let's see what we have here. A few problems here, a few problems there, problems. Then we have percent sale, the different. Okay. Now I do have a question for you guys. Do you think going over a few of the more problems for percent change would be beneficial for us? Yes, no, maybe? Yeah? Okay, let's do page 6. Page 6 will actually, page 6 will give us 7 word problems. First 5 are percent change. Last 2 are just regular percent problems. You got it? All right, let's go over questions on questions on page 6. First question: a shirt that costs $25 goes on sale for $15. What is the percent of decrease in the price? Once again, we're gonna find out our first and last number. The shirt that usually costs $25 is on sale right now. That means our first number was 25. Our last number is 15. Using our formula that we learned, we are writing as follows. 15 minus 25 over 25 times 100, which in our case will equal what? Equal negative 66.6%. It's negative 10 times 100. That's negative 1,000. No, it's not that. It's negative 40. Yeah, it's negative 40. Come on, I knew something was not going right. Okay, so David, you gotta cut this out, this part, okay? Yeah, got it, because we don't want to show it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, when looking at this problem, right now we know that our percent change was a negative 40%. We good? Awesome. Problem number 1. $40 autographed and framed poster of One Direction goes up in price to $50. So it goes from 40 to 50. What is the percent increase? Once again, our first number was $40. Our last number is 50. What do we have to do? Is find the difference. 50 minus 40 over 40 times 100, which equals 10 over 40 times 100, which in our case equals, it equals 25%. Make sense? We good? Okay. Number 3. 30 people are shopping in a music store. 45 minutes later, there are 13 people in the store. What is the percent decrease in the number of people in the store? Right here we have three numbers. 30, 45, and 13. What is important in this problem is to realize what those numbers mean. We have 30 people and 13 people and 45 minutes. We're looking for the percent decrease. That means we're looking what change. The number of people went from 30 to 13. 45 minutes is just a distractor. That number is there just to distract you. So you will put that number either as a first or as a last number. So here, what you could do actually, reread that question, but instead of 45 minutes later, scratch this part and just read this as follows. 30 people are shopping in a music store. Later, there are 13 people in the store. It didn't change any meaning of that problem, yet we eliminated the unnecessary number that can distract us. So now we know that this is our first number, this is our last number. And again, we are going to find the percent change by subtracting and dividing. 13 minus 30 over 30 times 100%. And our percent change is negative 56.67%. Oh, because it started. Okay, what happened first? Very good question. How do you know that 13 is last? What happened first? First, there were 30 people. Later, there were 13. So chronologically, meaning what happened first, what happened last. That's how you find out which one is first, which one is last. Something that happened before, it's first. Something that happened later is the last. That's a very good question, by the way. Very good question. Christy, does that help you, being here? Or are you like, not so, no? You're like, I already know this. Okay, so that was number 3. Let's go to number 4. A liter of Pepsi costs $1.19 at the corner grocery store. But with a handy coupon, the same liter of soda costs $1.09. What is the percent decrease in price? Once again, let's find our first number. Our first number is $1.19. Our last number is $1.09. And once again, we are going to subtract 1.09 minus 1.19 and divide by 1.19 times 100. And we get
Negative 8.4%.
negative 8.4%. Questions? Concerns? Noah? You good? Perfect. Anaya? All right. Question number 5. A $400 Sony stereo goes on sale for $240. What is the percent decrease in the stereo system's price? Once again, first, last. Let's do this together. 240 minus 400 over 400 times 100. And the percent decrease is
Negative 8.
it's not negative 8.4. Let me check. No, that's not what I told you. You didn't pay attention.
No, 40%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the percent decrease is negative 40%. Oh,
Mia
great.
Whitehead, please come to the main office. Mia Whitehead.
All right, last two questions on page number 6. A pair of sneakers, regular price at $84, is on sale for 20% off. What is the discount? What is the sale price? Right now we have two questions. We need to see two things. First, what is the discount? What is the price? So the discount here is 20%. So we need to find the value of that discount in dollars, which means we are looking for 20% off $84. Here we're going to use our formula that we used before, which is over off equals percent over 100. So let's put this together. We know we're looking for 20%. That's why 20 goes on top of the 100. We know that the original price of the sneakers was $84, and we know $84 must go on the bottom. Therefore, X goes on top of it. 20% of 84, ladies and gentlemen, is 16.8. That's your $16.8, and that is the value of the discount. That will be the first, the answer to the first question. Now, since we know the value of the discount, what do we have to do next? Subtract. Very good. We're going to subtract 84 minus 16.8. Since you don't have a decimal, we put decimal point and a 0 here. 84 minus 16.8 equals 67.2. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the answer to the second question. Good to go? Yep. All right. Perfect. Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's solve the last question on page number 7. Your dream tablet is on sale for 20% off the original price. If the original price is $270, what is the sale price? Again, we have to pretty much follow similar steps, the same steps. We need to find what is the value of that discount by setting up our proportion. We're looking for 20% of the original price. Since our original price is 270, we need to put 270 right here on the bottom. And then what we're looking for is the value of that discount. After cross multiplying, we know that X will equal $54. So the next question is, what are we doing with it? We have to subtract. Since it's a discount, we actually have to subtract from the original price. Our original price was 270, and we need to subtract 54. Therefore, we're going to find the sale price, which is $216. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Easy? Easy enough? Good. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Oh. Yes, sir.
I found out a faster way to figure out like the discount or whatever. Instead of doing like the proportion thing, all you gotta do is multiply like the price by the percent and. Yeah.
So what you did is basically you used the second page of your you use the second page, use this, multiply the price by the percent. didn't you?
Yeah.
That's exactly, you can do that. That's perfect. Actually, would you like me to show you something? Yes, sir.
Isn't that the same way you find tax?
Yes, tax, all of it right now, everything that you learn is it's actually based on the one formula. Let me show you something, okay? Is over of equals percent over 100. Now, you need to go? All right. Is our part. And then there is a whole. Equals percent over 100. I also told you that there is another formula that goes like this. Percent times whole equals part. But in our case, my percent, I would write this as decimal. Right now I'm going to show you how to go from the first equation to the second. Would you like to know that? Okay. So let's move on. Let's move this one right here. We have part over whole equals percent over 100. Now, percent over 100 is basically like turning percent into decimals. Yes?
The battery is like around.
Okay, don't worry, because this is just for your own giggles, because you're smart kids. I don't need this somewhere else, but you know what I'm saying? The battery on the mic or the battery on the camera?
Battery on the camera.
Okay, don't worry. Part of